Twins, watch out. Make it 4 in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. They win back-to-back versus Baltimore tonight. Byron Buxton, he goes deep again. Final score tonight, 5-2. Full deep dive coming up next on the Minnesota Twins Postcast.
This is the Twins Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Minnesota Twins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on? Back in the lab, back at it. Another Minnesota Twins Postcast episode right here on the Locked On Sports Minnesota Network. Your team every day. Luke Inman at Luke_Spinman on X. Got my main man, CJ Baumgartner. Give him a follow on X as well, at BombCJ30. Twins expert over at Zone Coverage MN. CJ, is this the best start you've ever seen to a season from Byron Buxton? 9 home runs, 25 RBIs. I know those 25 RBIs. I didn't check it. I should have, but I know they're near the top in the entire AL. I know Aaron Judge is one, maybe one or two other guys, but nonetheless, he's near the top. And this dude's been on fire as of late.
Yeah, exactly. Byron Buxton, I mean, the best start to his career probably was that 2021 campaign where he just tore the cover off the ball, and 2022. But I mean, this is right up there with him. He's been the Twins' most consistent player. He's played in a lot of games this season, 5 for 5 on his stolen bases, has hit a home run in like 3 straight games. I mean, yeah, he's playing certainly at the peak of his powers right now.
Yeah, a lot of fun to watch for sure. Lots to get into in this episode. Game MVP from tonight, the biggest turning point from tonight. But first, quick reminder, tonight's episode brought to us by Game Time. Game Time. Download that Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. All right, so quick little recap here from tonight's game. Again, coming in, Twins on a nice little 3-game streak. Game 2 versus Baltimore. You got Simeon Woods-Richardson on the mound. He was fine, right? Nothing special. Almost got through 5 innings, 4 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. You'll take that. It's 3-1 when he gets pulled, thanks to a buck truck bomb doing it again. 3-run bomb. That scored Willie Castro. It scored Clemens as well. Bottom 7, they add 2 more. Harrison Bader, pinch hit home run, 5-2 in the 9th. In comes Duran in the 9th. Bring him up, sit him down as usual. 5-2 your final. Twins win their 4th in a row. They've won back-to-back. Yeah, back-to-back versus Baltimore. Looking for the sweep tomorrow, 12-10 first pitch. We got an early one. We'll talk about that later. But 17-20 now, CJ, on the year. Just 3 games below 500. What were your biggest takeaways? Kind of your A topics, I guess. What stuck out the most from tonight's victory?
Yeah, I know we mentioned this a few days ago when we were on talking again, but it was the fact that the Twins were able to pour on a little extra offense late, and it was huge for them, that Harrison Bader 2-run home run. Not that it ended up mattering per se in the game, but that extra 2-run homer to give them a 3-run lead instead of a 1-run lead late in the game. Just kind of felt like, yeah, the Twins maybe will win this game, maybe not. It's a 1-run game, who knows? But that extra, once he hit that, it's like, okay, they're going to cruise to victory tonight. And I think that's the biggest thing, is the Twins have been able to do enough run production wise. It's not a ton. They didn't light the world on fire, but they were able to score 4 more runs and were able to get themselves an easy victory tonight. So the story of the game has to be the Twins using the long ball to their advantage tonight.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
I think you just touched on it, but again, Twins up 3-2 before, 7th inning. Here comes Harrison Bader, pinch hit home run, a bomb shot that made it 5-2 at that point. But you tell me, CJ, what was the biggest turning point in tonight's victory? When was it and why, I guess?
There's a couple different moments you could choose from, right? You could go with the Louis Varland play, and what a heck of a play he made, able to roll and kind of stop a rally in the later part of the game. But I'm going to go earlier. The Twins were down 1-0 in the early stages, and it was like, okay, what's going to happen? And, down a run early, and for Buxton to hit that 3-run bomb, just kind of the way yesterday's game went, the Twins were able to score a lot early. And even though the Twins didn't hang a bunch of crooked numbers, they were able to put that 3 spot up, and it just felt like, okay, never mind. They got this. They're going to be okay today. And I feel like that turning point in the game was early. Buxton hitting that bomb was like, okay, yeah, I'm in a very good vibe about how today is going to go.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Again, maybe hinting at where you're going for this as well, but tonight's MVP, CJ, who was it and why?
I mean, you really just got to give it to Byron Buxton, man. He's able to do so much out there. And again, just the stretch he is on. And this isn't my nerdy stat, but this is a good enough stat from Aaron Gleeman of The Athletic. Coming after that first at bat, he was hitting .315 with 8 homers, 652 slugging in his last 23 games. Also 5 for 5 on steals, 21 RBIs, and 20 runs scored.
Wow.
So, I mean, he's the player of the game in today's game, but also he's just been tearing the cover off the ball. And it's just from a fan standpoint of just watching players play baseball, it's so fun watching Byron Buxton play baseball. So he's the player of the game in my book.
Yeah, the last 2-3 weeks, bar none, hands down, pretty simple, black and white. That dude has been the best player on the Minnesota Twins, without a doubt. Plenty more deep dive from this one. We do have a nerdy stat coming up. And again, that's all coming up right after this. Quick reminder, tonight's episode brought to us by FanDuel. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, an official sportsbook partner of the MLB. Right now, FanDuel is giving you a chance at a huge return. $250 in bonus bets guaranteed when you win your first $5 wager. Why I love FanDuel? When you get the hunch in the middle of the game, you go check out the latest stats. You can view live play-by-play, all on the same page where you place your bets. Again, $250 in bonus bets guaranteed when you win your first $5 bet. Go check it all out over at FanDuel.com. Getting some MLB future action while you're there. This might be changing here pretty soon if the Twins keep this up. But Twins at plus 280 right now to win the AL Central. It's all sitting up over at FanDuel.com. Again, check it all out over at FanDuel.com and get $250 in bonus bets guaranteed when you win your first $5 wager. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, an official sportsbook partner of the MLB. All right, CJ, lay that nerdy stat of the day on us. What do you got? Some sort of crazy stat, fun analytic, Twins related. What do you got?
Yeah, Simeon Woods Richardson, like we talked about earlier, didn't have the most efficient day, but was able to get the job done, going 4+ innings pitched today with just the 2 runs, earned runs allowed. But this was, in fact, his shortest start of the season at 4+ innings. His longest start actually came in the previous one, it was one of his second smallest starts of the year. His shortest one was, in fact, the first one back against the White Sox, where he pitched 4 innings overall in the game. He has not had a point where he's gone into the 7th inning, and the most it was pitched was in Kansas City on April 7th, where he pitched 5 2/3, so got into the 6th inning. He has yet to go to the 7th inning in 2025.
Wow, interesting. Good stat there. Royce is back. Willie Castro's back. All of a sudden, even though those guys haven't been like game wreckers by any means, they're still trying to feel it out. Doesn't it just immediately feel like it's taken some pressure off everybody else in the lineup, specifically Buxton, Correa, who hit a absolute moonshot yesterday. And in turn, those two, along with some other guys as well, it feels like starting to swing the bats really, really good right now. Like, how much does having just those two guys back in the lineup just kind of change the vibe of the dugout of this clubhouse?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is it just allows everybody to kind of go into their more natural spots in the lineup. Like, obviously, Matt Wallner's hurt, and there's a couple other bumps and bruises here and there for some other players. But just to allow Royce to be back in his spot and to allow Willie Castro to be back and doing things today. I mean, he started the game in left field. He was at second, turned a really nice double play in the 8th inning with the ball kind of hitting off Griffin Jack's glove, still able to kind of concentrate, make the play, step on second, throw over to first. It really just helps them, the rest of the team, be in their natural spots. It helps everybody, when players are hurt, you feel like guys have to kind of play above their weight a little bit, even the stars, even some of the bench players, and everybody can kind of slide back into their normal roles and do the things that the team expected out of them. And also it just means, with no disrespect to the Cody Clemens and the Jonah Brides and the whoever's of the world, but you kind of can allow them to be on the bench and be used when needed and not necessarily having to play them every single day. And then again, it allows everybody to step back into their normal roles, and nobody feels like they have to do too much when they feel like they're as healthy as they are right now.
Yeah, well said there. Simeon Woods Richardson, you already touched on him. Great nerdy stat. 4 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned, 1 walk, just 1 strikeout. Again, not bad, but it felt like the real MVP of the arms tonight was definitely the bullpen, right? How's this pitching staff coming together now that we're almost 6 weeks into the 2025 season? Because top to bottom, between the starters and then the bullpen, just as a whole, it does really feel like things are starting to heat up back there, and they're playing some really good baseball right now.
Yeah, I mean, with Brock Stewart back, again, you talk about guys getting to shift kind of back into their normal spots and things like that. Brock Stewart adds another high leverage reliever to the mix. Yeah, and again, the bottom of the bullpen, no team is really going to be excited about. I know Jorge Alcala has been a little disappointing, and there's a couple other guys there. But for the most part, when the Twins are in gotta-have-it spots, you have Duran, you have Jax, you have you have Brock Stewart, you have Louis Varland, who's been pitching really well. That's 4 solid relievers, and the Twins needed that to get through the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, and they shut it down. And the Twins bullpen, in fact, I know they've gotten maligned because they've blown leads, and they, as we've talked about before, they do get the blame for that. But also, it's been a bit unfair because if you look at this bullpen, they're a top 8, top 7 bullpen in Major League Baseball according to ERA, but according to the win probability added, which again is the little like, how is your win probability win this game throughout the game, and when a pitcher comes in versus when they leave, what was kind of the adjustment. The Twins are one of the worst teams because they're just in so many one-run games because the offense wasn't scoring. Well, when you get a game today where the offense scores 5 runs, well, now your bullpen comes in a low-pressure situation, but also it means that if they screw up, there's a little margin for error, and they didn't need it today. But it just, again, this is a really good bullpen, and because of all the tight games, they didn't really get a chance to show it. And now that the Twins are able to score just enough runs, you can really kind of put their dominance out there.
Hey, people helping people, right? Team game here, right? You need both here. You can't just lean on the pitching staff for a long stretch of the season and vice versa. Can't lean on the bats forever, too. Now it feels like finally this Twins team, after winning 4 in a row, feels like they're playing a complete team game right now. And top to bottom, again, offense, defense, the bats, you name it, relief pitchers. It's all coming together for Rocco, it feels like. So that's fun. Don't go anywhere. Quick preview. Game 3 tomorrow. Got Joe Ryan on the mound. That's all coming up right after this. Quick reminder, tonight's episode also brought to us by Prize Picks. Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 10 million members to date. For me, my money is just by far the easiest. It's the most exciting way to get in on all the action while you watch your favorite sports and you watch your favorite players. It's so simple, too. All you got to do, you pick more or less on 2 or more player stats, and you watch the winnings roll in. Baseball season, 5 weeks into the year. Could be strikeouts, RBIs, home runs, stolen bases even, you name it, they got it. Take your pick on more or less. Add them to your Prize Picks entry today. Plus, they now offer Apple Pay, quick and easy deposits into your account all season long. Download the Prize Picks app. Use code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 instantly with any $5 wager. All right, Twins trying to make it 5 in a row tomorrow. Sweep the Baltimore Orioles in Game 3. You got Joe Ryan on the mound for that. Then you got 3 versus San Fran this weekend as well. What's your biggest keys tomorrow with Joe Ryan? And then quick little snapshot on San Fran. 30 seconds on San Fran, because I was just looking at this NL West standings. Good gravy, man. That division is loaded. Dodgers, Padres, Giants. All over 10 games above 500 already 5 weeks into the year. Woof, that's tight.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the Rockies are sitting down there with like 6 total wins. So it's just it's a fun division out west there. Yeah, quickly on San Francisco, they're a really nice team. They've kind of had some things come together. Buster Posey running the front office there now. But yeah, they got Justin Verlander. They got some hitting pieces that have really done well for them. So it's a really fascinating team. They kind of just popped up out of nowhere this year. But there is some kind of nice players on that squad. So I think it'll be really interesting that they're able to compete in this division so far. They're a good team. Wouldn't take them lightly. It'll be a fun series at Target Field to see them come in this weekend. They're no joke. And then also just quickly for tomorrow's game, I mean, it's really going to be the same story, right? You're going to expect to get a quality start out of Joe Ryan or something close to it. Can the offense score, and not just score, can they get runs early? Because you've seen this Twins pitching staff about 9 times out of 10, whenever they're able to get runs early, their starting pitchers don't let them down. And if they get themselves in that spot, hanging the crooked number, getting a 3 spot in the 2nd or 3rd inning really would be a huge part into the Twins. So the biggest thing is just getting the offense going early. Doesn't need to be hanging up 5, 7, 8 runs, but just enough to kind of feel like the pitching staff has a little bit of breathing room early. And usually the Twins pitchers are able to take it from there.
Yeah, well said. Good breakdown. Starting to have a little bit of fun again. 4 in a row, back-to-back versus Baltimore. Looking for the sweep tomorrow. Final score tonight, 5-2. Buck Truck hits his 9th jack of the year, 17-20 on the year. Huge shout-out, all you guys, all the everydayers out there that always make us your first listen, all you guys coming in the chat with us from game to game. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go check out all of CJ's work on X, at BombCJ30, plus all the work he's always ripping up over at ZoneCoverageMN.com as well. Luke Inman on X, at Luke_Spinman. Again, game 3 tomorrow. Looking for the sweep. It's an early one, 12:10 first pitch. Joe Ryan back on the mound. We'll catch you right here. Same time, same place. But until then, sign it out.